Live from Waller Stadium in beautiful Manhattan Beach, California, it's Mustang Football 2009. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Chris Lee, alongside, as always, with Jeremy Sadowski. And we're here to bring you not only exciting high school football action, but we're here to bring you a Bay League championship game, as your Maricosta Mustangs of Manhattan Beach take on the Redondo Union Seahawks. Of course, Jeremy, this game is exciting every year because of the rivalry between these two schools. This year, even more so, because not only is the rivalry at stake, bragging rights at stake, but now a Bay League championship is at stake. Go ahead and tell us, Jeremy, what the implications of tonight's contest is.
Well, Chris, the Mustangs are riding a 9-game Bay League win streak, which goes all the way back to last season, which they went 5-0, winning the Bay League title. And if the Mustangs can finish off this game, they would again go 5-0 in Bay League action with the back-to-back titles. Mustangs have already clinched a share of the Bay League title. If Redondo wins, they would share the title, and Redondo would get the 1 seed because of the head-to-head defeat of the Mustangs. So this is always a big game. You can throw out the record books when Costa and Redondo get together. These two schools do not like each other, and they are really close by. And no matter what the situation, whenever you get Costa Redondo, you always get some good action.
Of course, throughout the night, Jeremy and I will be sharing a lot of our favorite stories over the years of this Mustang Redondo High School rivalry. Of course, Jeremy and I, both former Mustang players ourselves, very familiar with this rivalry, both as players, coaches, and announcers. In fact, even on the way here, saw some of former Mustangs, Tony Dorr, Ed Salcedo, members of the 1989 team, one of the first teams to make it to the playoffs in a long stretch there for the Mustangs. Saw them out in the stands. I'm sure many other Mustang alumni, a lot of former players out there. Always a big contest between these two local South Bay schools. Always brings out the alumni. Should be an exciting contest to watch. Of course, the Mustangs on offense all season long have really been a pretty well-balanced team, as traditional with the Don Morrow-coached Mustang squads. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about this Mustangs team and what we can expect to see from them tonight.
Well, Chris, this Mustang offense is led by quarterback Kyle DeMarco, the senior slinger, and he'll be throwing it primarily to Kyle Nunn, as you like to call it, the Kyle-to-Kyle connection. And then this Mustang team, like you mentioned, is well-balanced, so you'll be seeing a lot of good runs by Morgan Reese, the senior, as well as the senior tailback, Rico Wright. Defensively, this Mustang team is loaded. You got from the defensive line, the Tavai brothers, Jordan and JR. You have Jake Gelmini. Then you got the linebacking core of Kellen the Loch Ness Monster Lockwood. You have, again, Morgan Reese, who has had a stellar senior year, and Jackson Morrow. And then you got the DBs, which this Mustang team is, again, very strong. You got Kyle Nunn, you got Rico Wright, Dante Bavis, and Dion Morris. So this Mustang team is loaded offensively, defensively, and don't forget special teams. You have Alex the Roach Narochas, who has already kicked a 50-yarder, and you have Brendan Sofin, who is also a very excellent punter. So this team has basically no weaknesses going into the playoffs.
As we get closer and closer to the opening kick, of course, always an exciting contest between these two schools. Only about approximately, 7 miles or so separate these two schools. Many of the students at both the schools really kind of right in the middle divider line, had a choice whether or not to go to Redondo or to Maricosta, had to choose sides. That's really sort of the dividing line in the South Bay with the Maricosta Mustangs and the Redondo Union High School Seahawks.
Speaking of choosing sides, back in the day, I was supposed to go to Redondo through Hermosa Valley, but I made the choice to go to the winning side of this rivalry to become a Mustang, and the rest is history there. Also, in Bay League action, you have the battle for third place, which has playoff implications in the Western Division, and you have that taking place between West Torrance and Lusinger. It'll be a good fight, and will be interesting to see which one of those teams will come out victorious and join the Mustangs and Seahawks in the playoffs representing the Bay League.
We are just about set for the opening kick. Of course, your Mustangs in the home green and gold. Redondo won the road red and white. And there is the opening kick. Alex Narocha, as he's been doing all season long, kicking that one into the end zone. That's a touchback. That one's going to come out to the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 Seahawks. They will start out this contest on offense first, and they start off on offense with a 5-yard penalty. Certainly not the way the Seahawk coaching staff was hoping to start this one.
Talking about that Seahawks coaching staff led by Gene Simon and Tim Appenthorpe, they are a very good staff. They've been there a long time, and when you've been there a long time and you know each other so well, it'll be interesting to see how Coach Morrow, a former Redondo head coach, and Ray Lee, a former Redondo player, know their former school and will be able to plot against them.
After a nice scramble by Redondo's quarterback, they are now facing a 2nd and short until now we get the Loch Ness Monster and J.R. Tavai combining for a tackle of a good 5-yard loss. That's going to bring up a 3rd down and 8 situation for the Seahawks. Of course, Redondo led at quarterback by Chris Meyer. There's those. It's complete, and that should be enough for the 1st down. Dion Morris with the tackle. Seahawks in shotgun. Expect to see a lot of shotgun this evening. It's an option right. Mustangs read it fairly well. And Jackson Morrow comes up with the hit, well as an assist by number 6 for the Mustangs. Of course, that's Morgan Reese. Man in motion. Handoff, and oh, that goes nowhere. J.R. Tavai all over that play immediately. That's a loss of 2. That's going to bring up another 3rd and 8 situation for the Seahawks. Shotgun formation. Redondo under pressure. He's hit. The ball's up. It's intercepted. It's Kyle Nunn. He's got some blockers. He's got daylight. He's got a chance, and he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs. Mustangs open the scoring first on this heated rivalry for the Bay League Championship. Kyle Nunn on the interception gets into the end zone.
Yeah, Chris, the hardest hit he took on that was by quarterback Kyle DeMarco at the end there. Let's take another look at this replay. As we see, the pressure comes right up the middle by both Tavai brothers, hitting the Redondo quarterback high and low, which causes a very slightly errant pass, which is picked off by Kyle Nunn. Gets a couple nice blocks, including this one right here by number 44, J.R. Tavai. Good night. And that will do it, and he goes in untouched. the rest of the way for the touchdown. Great job by this Mustang defense to establish their identity. And their identity is we're going to hit you hard, as Kyle DeMarco shows Kyle Nunn, hey, they might not hit you, but I might.
Mustangs jump on the scoreboard first. They are set up now for the point after attempt. Of course, Alex the Roach Narocha set up for the PAT. The kick is up. There's a flag down. Let's see what the call is here. And it's encroachment against the defense. Narocha set up again. The kick is up. The kick is high. The kick is straight. And that kick is good. That means the Mustangs lead this contest 7-0 here in the opening quarter. Boy, that's going to take a lot of pressure off your starting quarterback when you haven't even walked out on the field yet as a quarterback, and you're already up 7-0. Alex Narocha on the kickoff. It's high, it's deep, it's taken at the half-yard line, returned out of the end zone by Redondo. They get about 23 on the return. They'll take over 1st and 10 at the 23-yard line. Seahawks now trying to rebound after that interception. Mustangs get the pressure on again. That time that one's complete despite pretty good coverage out there by Jackson Morrow. That's enough for a first down. 1st and 10 Seahawks. Again, Redondo in shotgun. It's option right. QB decides to keep it. That's Maris on the keeper. Got about 2 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and 8. Maris again in shotgun. Man in motion. Ball goes to the man in motion. Now it goes on the reverse. Well, end around double reverse there, and Mustangs read that beautifully. J.R. Devine really held his ground, and that one actually is a loss on the play, about a 2-yard loss. That's going to bring up a 3rd and long for the Seahawks, 3rd and 10. This is the third down and long situation. Already the Mustangs D has put the Seahawks in. Meantime, they get the pressure and they get the sack. Jackson Morrow on the blitz turns that corner and gets a beautiful tackle. That's a 4th down punting situation now for the Seahawks.
Yeah, Chris, we mentioned the history of this game. I'll never forget. We see a fake here by Redondo. He's going to try and get the first down himself, but it doesn't appear that he did. There's plenty of flags out there. What happened on that play?
And to see what the call is, although, boy, Redondo trying to get tricky. Kind of surprising considering they really haven't gotten much running room at all against this Mustangs defense here. The call is against Redondo. Of course, Mustangs will decline that penalty, take over 1st and 10 now instead. A huge mistake by the Seahawks. Mustangs go straight to the air. DeMarco throws double coverage on Nunn, incomplete. Going to bring up a 2nd and 10 now. Yeah, Redondo actually may have even lost a couple yards on that attempt. You can see the desperation in the Seahawk coaching staff already. This Mustangs defense has been fired up so far. Mustangs offense now on third down. QB keeper Kyle DeMarco fights forward. Looks like he's going to be just shy. He will be third down and 1 will be the situation here. I'm sorry, 4th and 1 for the Mustangs. Mustangs will go for it. 3-back formation. Ball goes and gets the first down is Morgan Reese leaping over the middle of the pile. Morgan really showing his athletic ability there in getting the Mustangs first down. First and 10, Maricosta now. I formation, man in motion. Ball goes to the tailback. This case, it's number 2, Rico Wright, who gets and works his way all the way down to the 5-yard line. What a great run by Rico Wright. First and goal now, Mustangs back to the 3-back formation. Handoff goes to J.R. Tuvai, who makes a nifty move and gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs.
Yeah, Chris, this is a very historic rivalry here in the South Bay. I'll never forget 25 years ago, I saw my first Costa Redondo game. Costa won that game, and I was determined to become a Mustang ever since. Let's take another look at this play here as we see excellent blocking up front. As you see Jordan Tavai pulling, you got Jake Gelmini, you got Alex Probosco there making nice plays, and then JR just finishing off, barely getting touched, and in for the touchdown. Touchdown, Mustangs.
Nice, nifty running out there by the big man, J.R. Tavai. Meantime, the point after attempt is up, it's high, it's straight, and it is good. 14-0 now. Mustangs lead this contest here in the first quarter. And, boy, I don't know about you, Jared, but I can smell in the air just the sense of a blowout coming. If the Seahawks coaching staff can't figure out something quick.
Talk about the smell in the air. That's also the Mustangs' broad alley right here behind the press box, a new addition, which I like because it's real close, too. You can grab a quick brat between plays, power one of those down. You got also the Mustang snack bar over by the west side of the end zone. So this Mustang snack bar, they're hungry. You can smell it in the air. You can smell blowout in the air.
It's the entire Mustang experience. Meantime, Redondo now back to the air. Mustangs got the pressure on again. That scramble by Mares works for about 5 on the play. Second and 5 now for the Seahawks. Redondo goes to the air. Oh, Mustangs got the pressure on again. Another scramble. This one will work for a first down, but boy, these are not designed scrambles by any means. This is the Mustangs D getting in the face of quarterback Mares immediately. Mares now in shotgun. That time he does decide to keep it. Sees nothing downfield, gets about 4. JR Tavai all over that one. Redondo now on 2nd and 5. Mares rolling left, throwing left, and that is incomplete. No one in the area. Good coverage downfield by the Mustangs. I think Mares may have just been throwing that one away. 3rd and 5. Mares in shotgun. Looks left. That's complete left. Mustangs read this one pretty well. Jackson Morrow with a nice tackle out there, as well as number 21 for the Mustangs. Of course, that's Dion Morris. But that one is just enough for a first down. 1st and 10 now, Seahawks. Morris complete in the air. Quick hitch. That one works pretty well for the Seahawks. They get about 18 on the play. It's going to bring up a 1st and 10, Redondo. Of course, again, we're here in the first quarter. Mustangs lead 14-0. Redondo now scrambling. Morris sees nothing downfield, decides to try to keep it, and oh boy, does he fall into a brick wall. That was number 16, Adam Lawrence, out there with a nice tackle. And that would do it. This quarter is now over. One done. Mustangs lead 14-0 after the first quarter.
Well, Chris, we've again seen the dominance this Mustangs team has had both offensively and defensively. You see the interception by Kyle Nunn returned for a touchdown. Offensively, the Mustangs were able to drive right down, followed by a J.R. Tavai touchdown run. This might get ugly, and between these two teams, you never know what could happen. So it'll be interesting to see if this Redondo team can recoup, if Coach Simon on the other side can muster something up. I don't know. This Mustang team is loaded.
Of course, while we get a quick break here, that reminds me of one of my favorite personal memories of this Costa Redondo matchup. One involving me, my of course sophomore year. Fumble recovery I made got us all the way down after I made the recovery down to a 1st and goal situation. We were then able to get the touchdown, which turned out to be the game winner. So, of course, I also had 3 tip balls on defense as well in that contest. So, definitely one of my personal favorite contests. Of course, that was under Coach Bob Fish. Of course, Mustangs athletic director all the way up until this past year. Legendary teacher, instructor, mentor really for both Jeremy and I at Maricosta. Played an integral role in my Costa Redondo experience.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Coach Fish was also very instrumental in getting these Mustang games first telecast on local cable here and into the internet age. Without Coach Fish, it would have been able to overcome the stumbling blocks going through the superintendent's office, which he was able to help work through the red tape.
Measurement on the field. Looks like Redondo's going to be just shy. And in fact, they are. If they're just shy, Mustangs will take over now on downs. Second time tonight the Mustangs have taken over on downs. Kyle DeMarco in I formation. Play action. He's looking deep. He's got a man wide open and just overshoots Kyle Nunn. The Kyle to Kyle connection almost had a big one there. Second down now, doubles right, I formation. DeMarco starts to roll right, stops, throws back to his left, running back screen going on there on the left-hand side. JR Tavai. JR is a little upset because he knew that one had potential to be a pretty big play. Got tackled up after only a couple yards. He knew that one could have been even bigger. Still a nice 5-yard gain though. Third down and 5 for the Mustangs. DeMarco decides to keep it. He fights forward. He lunges, and I think he's going to be just a bit short. Let's see where they spot it. In fact, he will be. 3rd and 1 is the situation. Sorry, 4th and 1. Mustangs just had to go for it, and they get another 4th down conversion. They got about 3 yards on that play. That was easy for them. Mustangs so far tonight, 2-0 on fourth down conversions. Redondo, 0-2. Incomplete on first down, second down and 10 now. DeMarco in shotgun. He's rolling right, he's looking right, he throws, he completes right. That's Jackson Morrow with the reception. Ooh, nice block out there by Kyle Nunn to really help keep that one going forward. Jeremy, tell us about that block.
Well, Chris, let's take another look at this play. Like you mentioned, that block by Kyle Nunn was something special. Not only can he return it, catch it, and do whatever you need, but look at this block as he takes out two Seahawks with one shot. And then Jackson Morrow, when he knows he's going down, he's going to take you down too. He doesn't take a hit, he delivers the hit there, as we have seen all season long when he runs the ball.
That hit by Nunn sprung Morrow for at least another 12 yards. Big time play there in the Mustangs passing game. Mustangs lead this contest 14-0 here in the second quarter now. Getting on a little bit of a drive. First and 10 from the 25. It's Rico Wright trying to turn that corner. He's got daylight. He lunges and he's got end zone touchdown Mustangs. Rico Wright with the score.
Yeah, Chris, Rico is looking suave on that play. Let's take another look and see exactly how this play develops and why Rico turned out to be in the right spot as he makes a great touchdown run here to his left. There's the handoff to Rico, and his speed gets him to the corner. And then notice here as he is able to tightrope that sideline and then use his leaping ability for the final couple yards, getting himself in the end zone, staying in bounds, and he is fired up. He is ready for this rivalry, and he has made himself known early on here tonight.
And Alex DeRocha's point after attempt is up, straight, and good. That makes the score of this contest now 21-0. Mustangs lead. As Alex DeRocha gets set for the kickoff. First again, the Mustangs in their home green and gold. Redondo win the road white and red. And again, another kick into the end zone. That's another touchback. Redondo will take over first and 10 from the 20. Redondo in shotgun. Rolling left. Under pressure. And finally brought down. That one stripped. The ball's loose. And the Mustangs recover.
Yeah, Chris, let's take another look at this play as this Mustang team, this defensive squad is hungry. Quarterback is pressured here by Tavai. And then coming up from behind is Gelmini. And he knocks that ball loose with a little help from Morgan Reese. And there is Mr. J.R. Tavai to finish that one up and control that ball. Mustang turnover. Here we go again.
Mustangs now on first and 10. I formation. Man in motion. Rico Wright was that man in motion. DeMarco drops straight back, looks left, throws left. He's got a man left and has a touchdown. Kyle-to-Kyle connection. Mustangs immediately capitalize on the turnover, and they get another score. And the point after attempt is up, straight and good. And that makes the score of this contest all of a sudden 28-0. Just barely into the second quarter. Another great Kyle-to-Kyle connection for a touchdown there. Kyle DeMarco with the perfect throw to Kyle Nunn. Only had to make a couple moves, and bam, he was in for another Mustang score. Because that's Kyle's second touchdown already this evening. Redondo back to pass under pressure, and the Mustangs get the sack. He got divide on that one. Jordan with the ankle tackle, and JR coming in to clean it up afterwards. Second down and long now for the Seahawks. Mares in shotgun, flag down. And that one's motion against Redondo. Second and even longer now. Snap with the quick handoff to the tailback, and oh boy, the Mustangs not fooled at all by anything Redondo was doing. Jackson Morrow all over that tackle. Now it's third down and about 18 for the Seahawks. Mustangs D has not been giving up anything to Redondo tonight. Redondo to the air. Quick hitch and tackled at the original line of scrimmage. It's going to bring up a 4th and 10. Redondo will again be forced to punt. Assuming Redondo doesn't do something foolish to try to go for it again like earlier this contest. And boy, when the Seahawks have things going bad for them, they really have things going bad for them. What a shanked punt. Mustangs take over at the 26-yard line. DeMarco on 1st and 10 decides to keep that one himself. Gets just about 8 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and short. Mustangs already lead 28-0. And there's a flag that's going to be a false start against the Mustangs, most likely. And illegal shift, technically the call. 2nd and 9 now for the Mustangs. Marco play action. That's to none. And that's another Mustangs touchdown. Kyle again for another score. 3rd touchdown of the evening for Kyle Nunn.
Yeah, great job again by Kyle DeMarco to find Kyle Nunn coming across the field this time. As we'll see here, you got the little play action, and then coming across is Kyle Nunn, and then Kyle Nunn makes the Redondo defender pay as he blasts him and enters the end zone. Touchdown, Mustangs. This is definitely a blowout now, and it reminds me of our senior year when we blew out the Mustangs to send them home. And they didn't make the playoffs, as we see the extra point being good here. However, this Seahawks team, even though they're going to get blown out here at home, or here at Maricosta, will make it to the playoffs as the 2nd seed from the Bay League.
Of course, the Mustangs blowing out Redondo back then, blowing them out tonight again. 35-0 the score of this contest. And we're still only in the second quarter. Meantime, Redondo trying to get at least something positive here in the first half. Looks like they're going to get a return for a touchdown. Don't see any flags on the play, so it looks like that one's going to stand. Touchdown Seahawks on the kick return. The point after attempt is up, straight, and good. That makes the score of this contest now 35-7. Mustangs with the lead.
And Chris, one of my favorite Redondo stories happened during our time here at Maricosta in the late 80s. And that is when some Redondo students came over to Waller Stadium. And back then we had a grass field or dirt, depending on if you saw things half empty or half full, attempted to write Redondo across the field in chalk. Well, they were unsuccessful and wrote Redondo on the field prior to the Costa Redondo match.
Yes, the classic Redondo story. Always one of our favorites. Second down and 5 now for the Seahawks. Mustangs get about maybe a yard on the play. It's going to bring up a 3rd and 5. Sorry, for the Mustangs. 4 receiver set. DeMarco. Play action, looks left, throws left, and skips that one left. Good coverage by the Seahawks. That's going to force a 4th down punting situation. Brendan Sofin out there to punt. Not been too busy out there so far tonight as the Mustangs offense has been rolling. Gets a good punt off there. Redondo calls for the fair catch at the 40-yard line. They'll take over 1st and 10. Just over 3 minutes left to go here in the first half.
Maricosta's had a long line of successful kickers. You had John Williams from our day, who ended up going to Fresno State. You had Ryan Seska going to Oregon State. You had Kevin Lavelle going to Cincinnati and later the St. Louis Rams. And you had Joe Houston, who is currently kicking for USC. And now you got Narocha, and now following Narocha, you're going to have Sofin. So this Mustang kicking lineage runs deep, and it is an excellent tradition here at Maricosta.
Jake Gelmini with a nice tackle there. Third down and 7 for the Seahawks. Flag comes in.
We take a look at one of my former players after coaching in the 91 freshman season. That was Stuart Sellers on the sideline. And Stuart, as you can see, was one of the members of the first championship team as a junior in 1993. Great career here at Maricosta for Stuart Sellers as Loch Ness Monster just comes up and cleans up the mess, which was the Redondo quarterback. He was a mess on that play, scrambling all over the place, and Kellen Lockwood put him out of his misery.
I think his brain's going to be scrambling now after that hit. Meantime, Redondo on the fake finally gets something going here. Second time Redondo's caught a fake on a punt there. That one works for a 1st down, 1st and 10 Seahawks. They go to the air now, the wide receiver middle screen, and that goes for naught. J.R. Tavai there immediately. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 10 now for Redondo. Another short pass completed. Seahawks get about 5. It's going to bring up another third down, 3rd and 5 for Redondo. There's the snap. Redondo rolling left under pressure. Oh, he's hit and incomplete. Great coverage out there. Number 2 for the Mustangs. Of course, that's Rico Wright with the brilliant coverage. And with the big hit to boot.
So we get to see, oh, here comes Redondo for a long field goal attempt. It is up, and it is good. As prior to that, we got to see the next generation of Tavai brothers that will be coming through here in Maricosta in the next 5 years. So look forward to that.
That makes the score of this contest now 35-10. As that will take us to the halftime. And in fact, there it is. It's halftime. Mustangs dominate by every stretch of the imagination in this contest, leading 35-10. And welcome back to the second half as the Mustangs take this 35-10 first half lead and hope to build and finish this contest off, which also means claiming a sole possession Bay League championship. Of course, Jeremy, Mustangs with a pretty much dominant performance on all levels of this game. Even a simple stat like 4th down conversion, Mustangs 2-0, Redondo 0-2. Everything from that to special teams to defense to offense, Mustangs really dominating this first half. Let's see if they can come out and do it again for one more half. And that kick goes through the back of the end zone. Mustangs will take over 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. DeMarco, I formation and in motion. Handoff goes to the tailback. And I believe that's number 6. Yes, it is. That's Morgan Reese with the carry. Morgan got about 4 on the play. It's going to bring up a 2nd and 6, and that one's complete. Nice catch out there. Of course, that's the Mustangs' number 86, Jake Jomini. Jake with a nice catch. Of course, with tight end Mike Miller in Miller time with his injury, Jake Jomini is really filling in nicely for the Mustangs at the tight end position. Meantime, DeMarco, play action. He's going deep. He's got a man deep. It's Kyle Nunn. Kyle to Kyle. He's fighting. He twists. He spins. And he gets in for his 4th touchdown this contest. Another Mustang score.
Wow, Chris, let's take another look at this play. What a great job by Kyle to Kyle as we get to see how this play unravels for the Seahawks. And it did unravel. DeMarco is under center. Again, they used that play action to help give Kyle Nunn some space, but he didn't need just but a foot, and then he carries the Redondo player, not 5, not 10, 15, 16, 17, 19 yards before he finally sheds the tackle. And then the other Redondo player, just looking on, gives a weak attempt at the goal line, which Kyle Nunn is able to just spin out of, and he's into the end zone yet again. Again. And again, he's in for the TD. Dominating performance by Kyle Nunn as he completed the Kyle-to-Kyle connection there.
Of course, going into tonight's contest, Kyle Nunn already had 6 touchdowns from an offensive standpoint as a receiver. Boy, add 3 more to that total tonight. Make that 9 for a 10-game season. Impressive season by Kyle Nunn. Him and Kyle DeMarco, the Mustangs quarterback, really do have great chemistry and great trust in each other. We've seen it develop really since last season. And Kyle Nunn really stepped into that leadership role this year for the Mustangs, and boy, has that made the difference. Redondo now on 1st and 10. Under pressure, and there's another sack. That time it's number 85, Marcus Probosco.
Of course, Marcus is a legacy here at Maricosta, following his brother Alex Probosco.
Of course, we covered Alex's games here on our coverage as well. Very familiar with the Probosco brothers. Reese brothers as well. Morrow brothers. Now we've got the Devise, with more Devise along the way coming in the future. It's a family program here at Maricosta.
Yeah, and a couple of youngsters coming through will be another Meserek as well as another Koppel coming through. So, like you said, this is a family program with a steep history and great talented play. Yeah, I mean, it goes all the way back to the Page brothers, the Muick brothers. I mean, you name it, there's always been a great family tradition here at Maricosta.
The Weems brothers. Mustangs, meantime, on 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. They got another nice drive going on here. But that time, that one is stopped. Morgan Reese hit with the 2-yard loss. It's going to bring up a 2nd down. They only marked him for 1-yard loss with forward progress, so 2nd and 11. And of course, one of the most famous brother combinations, the Fanuas. Of course, we played alongside with Simi Fanua, and soon after came Phil Fanua, one of the best defensive linemen in Mustangs football history. Actually, at one stage was ranked by USA Today, I believe it was, the best defensive lineman at the center position at the junior level of any school anywhere in the United States. Mustangs, they keep this one on the ground. And oh, nice spin move. Boy, really showing his niftiness is Rico Wright. Using his speed, starting, stopping, a little spin move, showing his athletic ability. Meantime, gets a nice yardage play, gets the Mustangs to a 1st and goal situation. Man in motion, this time it's play action. No, in fact it's not. It's a draw play straight up the middle. Following his blockers is Rico Wright with another touchdown for both himself and for the Mustangs.
Yeah, Chris, Rico got a nice block right by the center, Chad Jensen, right up the middle, which sprung him, and he was then gone for that touchdown right up the middle. This Mustang team is taking it right to Redondo. No mercy, 49-10, as they are going to stomp their way into the playoffs and as Bay League champions going in. And with this type of performance throughout league, this Mustang team will definitely be highly seeded in the Western Division.
Redondo under pressure, rolling right, throwing right, and no one in the neighborhood except for the Mustangs defense. Incomplete. 2nd and 10 coming up for Redondo. Redondo under pressure again. That one's just kind of thrown up for grabs. Incomplete. Third and long again for Redondo. They try to keep it on the ground. Option left, and oh, what a great solo tackle. Rico Wright doing a great job out there at corner that time. 1-on-1, comes up with the tackle, and what will force another punt by the Seahawks. It's a short punt. Takes a little bit of Redondo roll, but the Mustangs will take over with good field position. That one down at the 40-yard line. Mustangs will take over 1st and 10. Mustangs have some substitutes in now, as this game clearly in the favor of the Mustangs. Dalton Crawford in now at quarterback. Giving quarterback Kyle DeMarco a much-deserved rest. Mustangs keep it on the ground. That was number 24, Cody Asagi, with the nice run. A little nifty spin move to give the Mustangs another 1st down. This time, that one looked like number 27, Tajee Mobley, with the carry.
Yeah, Tajee also had a brother come through the program, Tim Mobley, a couple of years back.
And Tajee gets the carry again. Of course, Tajee and Cody Asagi, both very talented running backs. Juniors, looking to see a lot of playing time come next season. We've gotten little glimpses of their ability here and there, and boy, Jeremy, I'll tell you, I like them both pretty equally. They're a good, balanced pair.
Yeah, talking about some of the youngsters coming up through the program, this year's JV team went undefeated in Bay League action to take the JV Bay League title. So this team should be able to reload. As you know, this is a very senior-laden team, so it'll be interesting to see what Mustangs will definitely fill in next season for all these seniors that will be graduating.
Second down and 4 now for the Mustangs. They keep it on the ground again. Nice job out there following his blocks. That was number 32, Nigel Coronado Morris. Of course, Nigel, we've also gotten get a little bit of a glimpse of these last few weeks. Very talented runner as well. This time it's Mobley. Another nice carry, but at this point, it's really the Mustangs' offensive line just dominating this contest. I guess it doesn't really matter who the back is. That line is going to make them a whole and give them a chance to be successful. And that one looks like that should be good for another Mustangs first down. In fact, it is first and 10, Maricosta. They get about 3 on that play. As we get a good glimpse of the Tavai brothers. And that will do it for the third quarter. Mustangs go into the fourth and final quarter leading 49-10. Second down and 7 for the Mustangs. That time that one looked like that may have been Asagi with the carry. Dalton Crawford under center. Hands off to Coronado Morris. Right off right guard. Gets close to another Mustangs first down. Looks like they're going to be just shy. In fact, they are. We call it a yard. Crawford now under center. It's the QB keeper. He drives his legs forward. He should have plenty for the first down. Good job out there by Crawford. And an even better job by the Mustangs offensive line, really getting, again, another great push. Mustangs keep it on the ground. That's Mobley with the carry. I formation. Handoff is to Mobley on the left-hand side. Gets down to the 5-yard line. It's going to bring up a third down situation for the Mustangs. Handoff to Asagi. He spins, he twists, he turns, and he gets another Mustang score. Nice run by Cody Asagi. Mustangs set up for the point after attempt. Kick is up, high, straight, and it is good. That makes the score of this contest now 56 Mustangs to 10 Seahawks.
Yeah, Chris, this is a good old-fashioned beating going down here at Waller Stadium, and this Mustang team, no matter who they're putting in, is continuing the beating and the pounding, and that's what it's all about. When you get these two schools only separated by a couple miles, They don't like each other, and whenever they get a chance to play against each other, it comes out hard and furious all the way down to the wire.
From the opening kick, you could tell the Mustangs were definitely very pumped and excited for this contest. Never really felt that same emotion from the Redondo sidelines. They almost seemed desperate, almost immediately going for a failed 4th and 10 punt fake deep into their own backfield. Actually, Mustangs got the ball over at about the 30-35 yard line, if I recall. Big early mistake by the Seahawk coaching staff. Mustangs ended up scoring on the next possession. At that point, that put the Mustangs up 14-0 and really established the Mustangs as the clear dominant team in this contest. Seahawks are now in shotgun. It's a QB keeper. And the Mustangs get the tackle. Noah Rossi involved on that play. As well as Noah Grunau. Rondo back to pass. Quick slant. That one's complete and good for a first down. Derek Largent with the tackle for the Mustangs. This will bring up a 1st and 10 Redondo. Rondo back to pass, and no, that one is dropped. And what we've seen, boy, basically typical for how this game has been played by the Mustangs defense, another hard, jarring hit.
Yeah, Chris, everyone's contributing to this beating. Even some of the players brought up fresh from JV are getting their licks in.
Redondo meantime now on, 2nd and long. They go deep. They may get a touchdown, and in fact, they do. Redondo scores on a deep ball. And make the score of this contest 56-16.
Chris, we'll be seeing a lot of Nick Pope for Redondo, their quarterback who just completed that long pass, as he's only a sophomore. So it'll be interesting to see if this Redondo team can come back next season and be more competitive with the Mustangs. It's hard to believe that this Redondo team is the 2nd seed in the Bay League, the 2nd best team in the Bay League, and they are just getting a walloping put on them, just like Lusinger got a walloping, just like Peninsula got a good beating. The only team that actually gave this Mustang team a good competition in Bay League action was, of course, Guy Gardner's Palos Verdes team. And, as of course, Guy Gardner finished off his rival Peninsula today, and they will not be going to the playoffs. However, this Redondo team will be. Ironic.
And of course, Guy Gardner, former Mustang football player and coach, you know he got a lot of enjoyment of handing Redondo their solo loss coming into tonight's contest, although, of course, the Mustangs well on the way to handing them their 2nd loss. So, boy, Redondo just can't beat the Mustangs, past or present. Costa now keeps it on the ground. David Romero with the carry.
Chris, this just in, the battle for third place in the Bay League is complete, and that is West Torrance just defeated Losinger 21-20 to secure the third spot in the Bay League playoff picture, and they will represent the Bay League along with Redondo and Maricosta as we enter the Western Division playoffs next week.
Of course, the Mustangs coaching staff better grab their umbrellas. Saw some of the Mustangs players checking the Gatorade buckets, getting the tops loose, ready to start dumping and dousing their coaching staff, well deservedly so, for another Bay League championship. Of course, last season, Mustangs took their Bay League championship, made it all the way to the CIF finals. Jeremy, you and I have been talking all season long. We both personally feel like this Mustangs squad is maybe a little bit stronger all the way around than last year's squad was. Last year's squad made it to the CIF finals, so we can just imagine the potential that this year's squad has. Sofin with the punt. Big, booming punt. Wow, what a great kick. Redondo decides to try to pick it up. Foolish play. Surrounded by Mustangs. Mustangs take the hit. Tajee Mobley with the wise play there. Redondo will take over, but deep into their own backfield. Just over 2 minutes left to go into this contest. Redondo going to the air under pressure. The running back middle screen, and oh, that one's knocked loose. Boy, what a big hit out there. That was number 10, Kyle Romero.
Yeah, David Romero out there looks like Kyle DeMarco as he is headbutting his teammates. He's all fired up, and he put a licking on this Redondo player as we get to see another look at this in super slow motion just so you can appreciate the timing. And like I said, every play in a Costa Redondo play is a big play, as David Romero shows right here. Whap! Good night. And then you got Rolo. That Redondo player got lucky. He got hit by David Romero because Rolo was going to come in there and just roll over him like a steamroller. So he got lucky there.
Redondo now. And shotgun. Rolling left, throwing deep left. That one's caught. And oh, another big hit. That ball's loose. That one unfortunately bounces out of bounds before the Mustangs can recover. But boy, what a monster hit again by that Mustangs defense, laying out the wood tonight.
I tell you, it's these Mustangs substitutions. Like I said, every play in a Costa Redondo play in a game is huge. When you get out there and you go against Redondo, you get your licks in whenever you can. And these guys are doing it, and that's what this rivalry is all about. You could have turned off this game last quarter when it was a blowout, but you want to see all these fine young Mustangs taking everything out on these Redondo Seahawks. This is what high school football is all about.
As again we see some of the Mustangs players, J.R. Tavai, trying to be sneaky in his pursuit of the Mustangs coaches with the congratulatory league championship ice buckets.
Notice the formation as they surround the bucket and get a lead block there so the coaches don't see him sneaking up there.
Of course, Mustangs coaches, as Redondo gets a touchdown there, Mustang coaches so used now to this stage, 2 league championships and then some. I'm sure they're certainly anticipating a good dousing coming up here as 53 seconds left to go. This one is been done for some time. Mustangs lead 56-24. Mustangs will be able, now that they've taken over possession, to just simply down the ball. As we see the players making their preparation. Mustangs keep it on the ground and get a 12-yard gain. And, oh, there they go. They got him, and oh, Ray Lee gets doused. And, oh, Coach Aerosmith, there he goes. Mustangs players doing a great job of hiding those buckets there.
Yeah, Chris, let's take another look at this job the Mustang players do in getting Coach Lee, as they just see him with his back turned to him. You got the 2-player method just drenching him right there. That's just a great job of getting, and Coach Lee takes it like a man. Some coaches try and sneak off. He just sits there and enjoys the shower. And Jake Gelmini, a senior defensive lineman, is enjoying drenching his coach there. That's a memory that he'll have for the rest of his life. Enjoy that, young man.
Of course, coaches always like to pretend they avoid the showering, as we see Coach Aerosmith getting his shower here. But boy, I'll tell you, every coach will definitely agree. They'd much rather be getting the shower, because you don't do that when you lose football games. You only get that when you win games. And on the Mustang side, you only get that when you win Bay League championships and then some.
Yeah, it was good to see both the offensive and defensive linemen doing the showering there, as they have been the heart and soul of this team, opening up holes for running backs Rico Wright, Kellen Lockwood, Morgan Reese, and defending Kyle DeMarco so he can do those Kyle-to-Kyle connections and get that ball to Mike Miller time, who hopefully will be back for the playoffs, as we see the Mustangs are champions once again here in the Bay League, a final 56-24 against Redondo.
Congratulations, Mustangs. You are the Bay League champions of 2009. Very talented squad. Again, like I mentioned just a little bit ago, maybe even a little bit better, a little more well-rounded than last year's Bay League championship team. Should be interesting to see what they can do in the playoffs. I know, Jeremy, both you and I have had high expectations all season long as we take a look at the final Bay League standings. Mustangs, of course, finish at 5-0. Redondo drops to 3-2, tied with West Torrance at 3-2. And that is the top 3 teams in the Bay League. Excellent Bay League season. It's all about the playoffs now. And here at Maricosta, it's all about winning CIF championships. Fans, thanks for tuning in. Of course, always one of our favorite games to call, Costa Redondo, the big rivalry matchup. Always a fun time for both Jeremy and I. good to see the kids out there excited, enjoying the moment with the blowout victory. Of course, it gives the seniors a chance to really kind of step to the sideline, enjoy the Bay League championship. Fans, thanks for tuning in again to tonight's contest. Mustangs beat the Seahawks. For Jimmy Sadowski, I'm Chris Lee signing out, and we'll see you next week in the playoffs.